and we'll see a bit about how you go promoting that message, how we help the customer base that we have and the new customer base to utilize this platform in order to get the right insights and visibility required to get all the benefits for their business, especially during these difficult times. So my name is Dimitris Lambro. I'm Partner Technical Manager for Middle East, and we'll spend the next 1 hour and a half going through and having a discussion. This is supposed to be an open session as well. So we'll go through what we've seen across the business landscape over the last couple of months specifically, having also the global epidemic and the most common ways that we're helping our customers to make it through this time, and how we have actually delivered solution and use cases and the success stories that we already have after a very short amount of time. With me, I have Ibrahim Tumar, the Regional Sales Manager for Splunk, and he will be giving us a bit of his experience on how you go about talking and selling Splunk. So some forward-looking statements, we might have some future features referenced within this presentation, and you should not use it to make any buying decisions on this.
Yeah, thanks, Dimitris. Just a quick, a couple of points here. Thanks for the intro. Thanks, guys, for attending this session. The whole objective of having this session as well is for our focused partners, and we're going to be doing this quarterly. And this is for only specific partners that me and Dimitris are working with. And the whole idea is to start off with, the presentation. We've got our guest also with us, Ibrahim Tumar, and he's going to be sharing with us the experience he's been building in his customer base. And we thought that it would be a good idea to give the sales team how they can approach and how they can sell and who to approach to and the sales cycle and so on and so forth. So just I wanted to say a couple of words. It's a great pleasure working with you guys, and looking forward to meeting you in person, inshallah, after COVID. Go ahead, Dimitris. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Rami. All right, so let's get started. Ibrahim still has a few issues. Bindia, you can add him as a co-host so he can also join. Now, let's see. So, very quick overview. If you're not familiar with Splunk, especially the last few months. Ibrahim, you're there?
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah,
you can hear me?
That's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you. So I'll just go through this one slide just to give an overview, and then I will pass it on to you. So it's good we can hear you. Okay. Okay. So going back, so the aim of our new messaging is empowering everyone with data, and this has been our mission for since the beginning of the company, really, to allow anyone and everyone, regardless of where they are or what their position, like administrators or business people, to be able to tap on their data that they want and run analytics in order to be able to get insights about their role or their business. Now, last 2 years, more specifically, we focused a lot more on making the Splunk platform a lot more powerful, and we have managed to get into, if you like, the analyst view as the data to everything platform, and this is kind of our definition, and it's been out there. It's been kind of started being used from a lot of analysts now. So once again, it shows that the Splunk platform is leading the way in that space, and we have some unique features which you might know, but we'll touch a bit upon later on. And as a proof of the platform execution capability, our customers, they range from small to very, very big ones, and we have 91 out of the Fortune 100 customers out there using us or utilizing Splunk for basically a lot of different use cases, and that's not just the standard ones, but they do a lot more advanced stuff. At the same time, we have got quite a good market validation, as I said, from analysts, but also from the performance of the company, with last year closing at 2.3 billion in revenue and hitting the top positions in every analyst report you find there, whether it's security or IT ops. So, as I said, today's objective of this session is to tell you a bit about how our customers have been managing through this crisis that we've seen the last few months, how the Splunk platform has enabled them to get back on their feet and enable their business to make sure that they have minimum disruptions and keep everyone safe. First, I will hand it over to Ibrahim Tumar, who will be talking a bit more about the sales point of view on how you go out there, really more of a practical approach on how you go out there and how you talk about Splunk and what are some tips and tricks on how you do things. So I'll pass it on to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, hi.
Yes, hi Dimitris. You can hear me very good now?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Dimitris and Rami, for bringing me here on with that channel. And assalamu alaikum, everyone. Wish that you all staying safe. Actually, I always excited to talk about Splunk even before I joined Splunk as an employee. So for me, this is a great chance to talk with the partners, especially from 11 years experience in the market. And I think all of us would do agree on one point here, the power of the partners in the market. And we know from the history how that many vendors, they came in the market and in Saudi specifically, and they built the business and they grow and now they shine because actually of the partner. So we can imagine the power of the partner with the power of Splunk technology. With our focus, that will be a big success in the market. You can move. Dimitris, I cannot control the slides.
No, just give me a note and I'll try and follow up with you.
It's okay, because there are many animations, so I'll let you work the next day.
Okay, I'll do your coordinator.
Thank you. So before I go to the agenda and my slides, I want to give a little brief of myself. I think many of the colleagues here knows me personally, and I work with them and we close business with them. My name is Ibrahim Tumar. I am with Splunk 2 years, almost approaching to close the 2 years now. Before Splunk, I worked with a Starlink company in security as a product manager. One of my products, it was Splunk. I managed Splunk for a couple of, sometimes. Then after that, I managed Logarithm from SIM perspective. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I always had the passion on Splunk even before I joined Splunk. And we will talk more in the next slides. Next, Dimitris. Yes. So today we'll talk about Splunk in Saudi market, because there are a lot of things that I hear from customers, from partners about the Splunk in Saudi market. Some of these things are true or not true. So we are here to make sure that if there is any wrong impression or message that you have about Splunk, to correct it. Then we'll talk about handling customer objections. And it will not be a traditional slide. It will be more interactive. So I would love to hear from you. I'm not sure if the guys, they can speak, Dimitris. If not, then I think we can use the chat. Then we'll talk and cover the main selling points to Splunk that we use with the main persona, who are the persona that we talk with. Next, please. So I don't want to say about Splunk in Saudi. I would love to hear from you. So if you don't mind, guys, just let's make it a little bit interactive. If you just drop one word or two words that you hear about Splunk or you know about Splunk yourself, from customer or from a partner or whatever. Just I will give just 1 minute to see some feedback from you. What do you hear about Splunk? Dimitris, they can write chat, right?
Bindia, can you Let us know if the people on the meeting can talk, or they can type into the chat.
Okay, that's fine. Just to save time, Dimitris, it's okay. It's better. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Just move on, I think.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. I think if you guys are able to talk or share, you will share some of the points which I will show now. If you don't mind, Dimitris, just to move one next. The first and the word which I always hear about Splunk in the market is Splunk is expensive, which is correct and not correct at the same time. It has two sides. Correct when customer doesn't compare apple to apple. Correct when customer just want to have a small SIM features for a very limited use cases and they have a very limited budget. Correct, we are expensive there. Still we compete, but yes, we are expensive. Not correct that we are expensive when we link that to value. When we go always to customers and we show them that value Splunk bring. I know everybody talking about value, but we talk and we do, and we deliver a value in Splunk. And I will give some examples in my next slides of the customers who really, and how we converted them from a vendor to Splunk because of the value that's shown. So yes, if we are not able to deliver the value, it will be expensive. But generally, Splunk, it's a technology, comparing to other technologies, it's not that price they offer, that's right. Limited use cases, we hear that limited use cases, and I think Dimitris, you can move with a couple of points more because I want to link. Yes, another one. That's it. Okay, limited use cases. Splunk has no correlation rules. I want to link these together. Yes, Splunk doesn't have a fixed correlation rules. It's only a list of 300 or 400, where as per, I think, SANS study, they said that customers use 4% of these ready list correlations. It's always about what is correlations. It's about data, and a Splunk unique value, which later we'll explain it, is the data that dealing with different type of data that generated by machine. So correlations is our main game. And the question here, we ask back our vendors or vendors how much it's easy to do the correlation. Not only have 400 list of correlations that you are using only 40 of it, but still you need 60. How much it's easy to do the customization for these correlation rules. Limited use cases, this is totally wrong, because Splunk, and again you will see in the next slides about the platform, that Splunk is the technology where you use the same data for different and multiple use cases. Once you have these data from different departments, different assets, you can imagine what you can do with this use cases. If you ask me today how many use cases you Splunk have, I will tell you, I don't know. It's unlimited, literally unlimited. You as a customer, as a partner, if you have the data, maybe you will imagine something and you come today and ask Splunk to do it. For us, it might be the first time we hear about this use case because it's all about data. Very difficult to use. It's not correct. I know other technologies, they have a straightforward approach because their technology is meant to be to small customers, to small setup. That's right. Splunk, it's a very huge technology. It's like when you move from Android to Apple, for you, Apple, it's very difficult. But once you get to use on it, you will enjoy it and you will say, or the opposite, because I'm not a fan of any, just I'm mentioning that as an example. Next slide, please, Dimitris. I forget one thing, maybe we forgot to mention the log management. If you just go back, sorry, Dimitris, because this is very important. Always I hear from customers that Splunk, yeah, this is the logger company. Oh, all what they have is only a log management solution. Correct, but it's not only. Yes, Splunk at the beginning, it was a small product and it's grown massively within a very few number of years. Yes, one of our main differentiators and strong capabilities is the log management. That's right, but it's not only. Yes, you hear from customers or partners. Yeah, for example, ex-customer, without mentioning the name, maybe you guys will know some of them. Ex-customer, they are using Splunk as a log management, but another SIM as a SIM. Correct, because you know now organization strategy not to rely on only one technology, number one. Number two, because we are really very strong in the log management. and this organization, they want to have two different technologies. But in other many scenarios, we started as a log management and we converted as a full SIM. And today, just I had a call with a customer who is moving from one of the big vendors, and he has a Splunk in a small setup for log management, moving to full replacement. Why is that? Because of the huge value, and that's what we will talk about. Sorry, Dimitris, next, please. In the market generally, or maybe in Saudi specifically, because I'm focused in Saudi, 80% of our numbers comes from big deals. What does that mean? That means we don't sell for small customers. No, of course, it's Splunk for everybody. And we have the light module where customers with 5 GB license, they can use it. Anyone can use Splunk. Anyone can buy Splunk. But what the message I want to deliver here, that you guys and us as a sales, we are running at the end of the day after our numbers. We need to achieve or overachieve. We need to make money. So Splunk is one of the technologies that help there. This is number one. Number two, why big deals? Because today, if you have money and you want to invest your money in a car, you don't go and just take any car just because you want to save. You have a money you want to invest. That means you need to get a value. Yes, X car will take you from house to office. Y car will take you from house to office. But the journey is totally different. The more how much you will suffer during the journey, the more value you will get on the road. It's totally different. And that has a price at the end of the day. So our customers are big because they realize the value. And that's what we talk about. Again, I mentioned many people, they say, we have value. Or we look after value. But I will give here an example of one of my customers who are really looking for a value. One of my customers, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to share names. One of my customers, they were planning to go with a technology that will help them in SOC only. At the same time, they have a NOC. So one of the value which we showed, number one is the power of our engine, the power of Splunk when it comes to the data, to collecting different type of data, where here you go from a traditional SOC or a traditional SIM to more advanced. What I do mean by traditional, today if you go to any SIM technology, they collect traditional data. Not all of them, of course, but they collect mainly the traditional data, firewall, server, and that's it. And I mean all traditional data related to the security. Splunk collect things are not related to security, and they can correlate all together and build a dashboard, build the use cases based on that. So that will make your security situation is more stronger, and you can secure your security posture in a better way. This is the number one value, which is the platform. I'm talking about example. This is what was differentiating us and this customer. Number two, it's that, okay, we know that Splunk is a leader in Gartner, Splunk for 7 years. We understand that. But at the end of the day, many customers, they tell you, and we hear that as a sales guys, that I don't care for Gartner. Some of the customers, they mentioned that I care for the technical capabilities. So here where we show the technical capabilities. On top of that, when it comes to value, that we can help not only on SOC, we can help on NOC as well. We can help HR department to get a value. We can help DevOps to get a value. Excuse me, Dimitris, next please. Okay, because we are talking about a very customized use cases that can be met by Splunk, very customized and complex use cases that Splunk can provide and offer. It's not only the standard one, and whenever you want to go out of the box, you need to add hardware, you need to add agent there, you need to bring Splunk for PS. It's not this way. I don't want to talk technically, but I'm just giving high points. Next, please, Dimitris. Scalable. One of my customers come and ask me about our differentiators. When I reach to the scalability, the customer asked me, how can I prove in a POC if your technology is scalable or the other technology is not scalable? Simple like that. Some of the technologies, literally, without naming them, you go, you say, please do a POC on 30,000 APS or NPS. And literally in a POC, they fail. Splunk 30,000 APS is something I won't say is a standard or something is basic, but it's not a big number for us. We have cases in the market. We have customers as a public reference worldwide who they are using Splunk for tens of terabytes a day of data, and they are not facing any issue when it comes to performance, because this is what Splunk meant to be. Real-time data, real-time searching, that is what we mean when it comes to scalability. The more you go big with a Splunk, the more value you get, not the more slowness you will move. Please, next, Dimitris.
Yeah, here just Ibrahim, just to add, I think the biggest customer we have right now globally is 7 petabytes a day.
That's right. Actually, I want to mention the number, but I was confused between 5 and...
Yeah, it's 7 petabytes. So, I mean, even a couple of 100 terabytes is really nothing. I mean, the platform just scales indefinitely.
Exactly. And last but not least, the roadmap. And really, I'm a sales guy talking to you as a sales guy. Really, guys, the roadmap, something recently in the market is very important to customer. Customer want to put investment with you for 3 years. Always they ask, what is next with Splunk? You can continue the full circle, Dimitris. You start today with a log management, or you start today with Splunk Core as a search and monitoring on a couple of assets. Tomorrow you want to secure your security posture, so we agree on a SIM. You buy a SIM from Splunk. You need more use cases since you already have the data, so you go with IT Ops use cases. And here in IT Ops, let me just take a couple of minutes explaining here, because people, they think Splunk it's only a SIM, which is true and not true at the same time. We have the SIM, correct, but we are not only SIM. IT operation use cases is unlimited. And I shocked when I hired in Splunk and get my training that Splunk can take any IT operation team from a reactive state of mood to the proactive, reaching to the predictability mode. So today your employees in the IT operation, and here we are not talking about security, sitting in their offices, waiting the root cause till it happened, then they go and search the root cause, they search the problem, the outages, whatever. Then they come and tell you, or maybe they're gonna spend months, sometimes hours, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, and some of customers, months they spend to find the root cause. Splunk will start with you at the beginning, taking you from reactive to proactive. So the team, they have the dashboard, they can see the incident immediately after it happened, and they can remediate and they can take action. During a journey that we can agree on it together, your team will reach to predictability. We have an IT Ops later, guys, if you will see. I'm not sure if Dimitris will show you some of screenshot or later, whenever you see. You will see like a tree. I call it a tree. And in the left side, there is a blue. The right side, there is a green. There is a red. These colors correlate together and give you a message that we have, for example, we have something on the CPU. At the same time, we have something, let's say, on one of the services. We predict that you guys will have the service down or whatever this root cause. We predict. So to that level, we take our customers. And today, we are number 1 as per IDC report in the IT operation management. And after us, become IBM and other vendors. Maybe we can talk about them later. Going forward with the roadmap, if you are talking to the security, today you are building your SOC or your team, they will have the same use cases. Tomorrow, you can grow with a SOAR, security orchestration and automation response, which is Phantom. Moving forward with ITSI, IT service intelligence, that's more to the operation. Moving to the UBA, to the DevOps, even the DevOps team, they can get a value from Splunk. So that's when it comes a roadmap. So today, I'm not talking only about SIM with customer. I'm talking a full roadmap. And literally, one of my mega deals, the reason and the main differentiators of Splunk and the only justification they provide to get the huge budget on it, it was the roadmap and the ROI that Splunk will bring to them. Next, please, Dimitris. When it comes to technology, I love this picture. I know it before. There is always someone who will do it cheaper. As I mentioned, car X and car B can take you from house to office. But it's about how much the journey is safe. And we know safe and secure and security, how much it's very important to us. It's more how much you will enjoy and not suffer during your journey from house to office or maybe house to another country or to another city. So that's what I mean here, because customers, they say, yeah, we have a cheaper offer. Perfect, I know, you will find always. And there are, to be honest, there are very good vendors in the market. I'm not saying Splunk is the best, but Splunk is the unique. Splunk, it has the multiple value. I'm not saying everybody can say best about their technology, but Splunk can really enjoy the journey and save money, save energy, save team, save efforts during the journey. Demetrius, before I move to the next slide, I'm not sure if someone can ask or we just carry on and continue.
Yeah, we can, Ibrahim, we can ask Bindia to unmute the guys.
Yes, I can do that. Should I go ahead and unmute them
see
now?
if there are any
If you want, yeah, okay. For me, yeah, it's
questions.
okay. Or if you want to wait till
from the gentleman. Bindia, do you want?
Sorry, Rami, I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah,
can you unmute Bindia now, and let's have a few questions, and then we can move on to the next slide.
I'll do that right away. I would request all of you to mute yourself. I will be unmuting you one by one. Thank you.
Okay, I will carry on. If there is any question, we can take it. Please, next, Demetrius.
Yeah, please.
Okay, here we'll talk about the main selling points to focus on. Plus, I will link it with persona. As I kept mentioning in my slides, the platform, our platform, which is the data to everything platform. And when we say everything, we mean everything. Today, we have one of the use cases, and it's very well known in Gatwick Airport because it's a public customer, and a similar use case in Dubai Airport, talking about Splunk, how help customers to save energy in the airport, how to enhance the passenger process between the immigration to the checkpoints till they reach. It helped to increase revenue on the duty-free. All of these use cases, it's not related to IT operation or security. All it's related to more data that we collect from different and various data sources. In Gateway, one of the funny use cases, and I used to use it to show to which level Splunk can add value, is the water flush in the toilet. They monitor through Splunk, through IoT sensors, the water flush in the toilets. They see how many it's been flushed, and they put SLA on the toilet or bathroom cleaning guys. So they can monitor SLA on the bathroom to that certain level. So can you imagine how you can monitor an SLA for operation, for security, for DevOps, for whatever use case you want to use it? So again, data to everything platform, we really mean it with big proof in the market. Next, okay. Any structure, any source, any time scale. This is our one of main differentiators, and we always tell it to customer. We can collect, Splunk can collect, index, or digest, whatever you want to name it, any type of data, even if it's structured, unstructured, came from databases, came from whatever data source that you have as a customer, we can deal with it. Most of the technologies, they deal with only structured data that sit in rows and columns. And whenever you want to call it, you need to understand what the questions you want to ask before you search. Because if you just write failure, you cannot get. You need to answer the specific question. Today, if you go to Splunk, you ingest all data. You don't do any filtration or any classification stage. You just mention a failure or any word, you will get the results. Then you start linking the results. If you don't know the question, just write a word like a failure, you will get many answers. Then you will start shaping the question that you want to ask if you don't know. Any source, we mentioned that a lot. Any time scale, also we talked about scalability, and we talked about our customer 7 petabytes. So far, these two things is very important to customers. I know some of partners or customers say, everybody do that, which is wrong. Not everybody do that. And this is the unique value of Splunk. Some of vendors in security or operation or different fields, they do some, but not everything. Same data for different use cases. And this is maybe I summarize it in the roadmap. This is we tell customer why should I go with a Splunk? Because today you will start as a SIM, tomorrow you can have the SOAR, later on you can have the IT operation, later on if you are, for example, one of my customer is university, you can enhance the registration and the exam systems, and you can monitor. And this is from one of my university customers in Saudi, who we are working with them in this use case. We started working on security and the RFP for security. The RFP already out. So maybe I think one of the people who I can see their names, they know about it. So when we started, when they came known through the POC that we can add value there, they disqualified one of the vendors because of start seeing value through a POC. I think we have a question here. Okay. So multiple use cases or different use cases, something is very important to customer, and we can approve it whenever it's required. And guys, whenever you start talking to customers, you will find something. When you tell customer about the platform, data to everything platform, you will be shocked that customers, they are facing issues in security department, not related to security, just because you told them I can deal with different data, I can index it, analyze it, and make it searchable and usable for you. They will come with the ideas. He's a security guy telling you about something that will help security, but not from security data. And it happened with 2 customers. So next, please, Dimitris. Splunk base is one of the main and very strong things, strong thing in the Splunk platform, that we have a Splunk base with 2,000 plus free applications. Not all of them free applications. I think 95% of them free applications. And what do we mean by free applications? Today you have a Splunk core. You ingest the data from different data sources. Let's say you have a Cisco firewall or a Cisco technologies or Palo Alto or any vendor that you can imagine. You go to Splunk base today, guys, you can do it right now. Go to Splunk base, mention any vendor that you want. You will find at least 2 to 3, if not 7 and 10 applications that developed by the vendor themselves to give more and better integration, to give visualization, some of them monitoring on their assets, some of them features that I really don't know because they are huge. And many customers, they have logged one of the universities that we have today in Saudi as existing customer. They are not using it for security. Still, they don't have a SIM, but they are using us since more than 3 years, taking the logs and feed it to Semantic, and I think Palo Alto, and I think they have F5, and they're getting a huge amount of data, a huge amount of value. And those teams are not security team. When it comes to one of the things for Splunk base that doesn't require a PS work. So you have the data, you go to the Splunk base, you search, you check what data is required to activate this app, you download it, you feed it with the data, and you start using it. No training is required, no PS is required. Some other technologies, they have some of the customized models, they call it, or the customized apps by vendors, but you need to tell the vendor that you need it from the beginning so they can put a PS scope on it to fix it for you. Last 2 points, leader, and I think the next, if you don't mind, leader in Gartner for the past 7 years. Yes, again, some customers, they tell you we do care about the technical capabilities at the end of the day and how much you can improve. But we do believe in Gartner as well as a company, as a report. So having a leader in 7 years continuously is something, I think all of us, we do agree it's a big achievement for a company. We are not going down, we are going up, because you will hear in the market, they will close, they don't have these things. And we are #1 in IT OM market share as per IDC report as well. So we are #1 here and there in the security and the IT operation as well. I think we can move next. Yes. Here, this is my last slide. Someone want to talk?
Ibrahim, there is a question
Sure.
by Yusuf.
Please. Yusuf what? Because...
Okay, sorry. So he's asking for security and for customers, they only want to cover their gaps by SIM, sometimes I feel like Splunk make it complex for them and they don't want to go with complex idea. What do you think? Any way to simplify that and show the value in same time?
Good question. I think Dimitris, you would like to answer this question from your side. Take it
Yes,
technically more.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to cover CM gaps. Yeah, that's very true, and we've seen that a lot. We have the reason for that is we have the enterprise security app that basically transforms the core platform to a security CM, security event information management platform, and it didn't used to be that user friendly, to be honest, but the last year or so we've made a lot of improvements to make it very, very user friendly. So it's full UI, etc., correlation rules out of the box. Sorry about that. A lot of the content. So I think it's a lot better, especially when it comes to small customers. Now we have what we call rapid adoption packages. We can also talk about at a later point, which they give you very simple use cases at a very low price, and it's very specific for small customers that looking to start with, and then you build the value from there.
Thank you, Dimitris. By the way, the voice which we heard is a shaving machine. Are you shaving during the webinar?
No, unfortunately, there is some construction going on, and
that's fine. I think everybody joining webinar get used to that. Okay. If there is any more question about Dimitris' point, please go ahead. This is my last slide. I want just to conclude with. So let me move, Dimitris. Okay. Now, why I want to conclude with this slide, the Splunk platform. Usually I use this slide as the one and all slides to explain to customers what is Splunk. And I am here doing the presentation for you today, not to convince you to buy Splunk, to help you to sell Splunk and to help you to understand Splunk. So for me, the first time I became a product manager to Splunk, this slide, it was one of the easiest slides which summarize everything related to Splunk and make it more easier on me to explain it to customer. Always, when a customer wants to buy Splunk, they will start with something we call it Splunk Enterprise or Splunk Core, which is our main core platform, which is, you can see here, Splunk Platform for Operational Intelligence. We start with this one. And beside that, under that, all the data will be ingested to this platform. Please, next, Dimitris. The same platform, you can find it either on premise or in a cloud, the same exactly platform. It just, we give two options. Now, today, you have the platform. You are using the platform for a limited or a certain use cases, not a limited, a certain use cases. Some people, and this is what people, they call it Splunk Logger, which is true and not true. Splunk Logger is the Splunk core, the core engine, which is the core engine that deal with the data that's being ingested from different data sources, come from forwarders, come from protocols, from IoT devices, from servers, networks, whatever, being ingested to the platform, and you can use it on-premise and cloud. On top of that platform, you can find our rich ecosystem, which is Splunk base, which is I mentioned. You can go next, Dimitris. The Splunk base where you can find the free apps for the customers. So now you have the platform, you ingest all the data, and you have on top of it access to Splunk base for 2,000 plus free app. What is next? The Splunk premium solutions. Today, a customer doesn't want to use Splunk for a certain use cases only for monitoring or for visibility or whatever, or searching. They want to use Splunk for a security. They have a compliance. They need the full security capability, which is starting with security monitoring, security investigation, ending with even the automation and actions. Here we take our customers to the premium applications, which is a paid one. The rich ecosystem are the free one. The paid one are five or six, I think, paid applications. And these paid applications, one of them is the SIM, which is, we call it Splunk Enterprise Security. So our customer, again, just to make it very clear to you guys, when you want to structure how you sell a Splunk will take platform, which is something is a must because it's the main engine where all data will go there. And they will add on top of it, either from the free apps or from the premium apps. So they use the Splunk Enterprise for security today, or they use, if they want to use it for IT operation use cases or IT service, they go with the Splunk IT Service Intelligence, or they want it for user behavior analytics, or there is another model like Phantom for the SOAR. All of that, a premium applications, they add it on top of the core. So if you can imagine with me how the BOQ will look like for a customer who want to buy a SIM, it will be 2 line items. The first line is a Splunk core, and you will measure it or size it based on the number of GBs they will ingest, not number of APS. Number of APS is a good indicator to us, but at the end of the day, because we deal with different data, we do care for the data itself. And the second line item you will have is the premium app, which is the Splunk Enterprise. Again, I hope it's clear, because from here, actually, I start to understand how to structure the deal, how to explain to customer about the platform separately, the free app separately, and the premium application separately. That's it from my side, Dimitris. I think the stage is yours now. If they have any business question, I would be happy to answer. If it's technical, I think it will be with you. And thanks again for your time, team, and for this chance.
Okay, thanks, Ibrahim. Dimitris, if you could give me a couple of minutes. That was very informative, and thanks, Ibrahim, for explaining the Splunk. I just want to take a couple of minutes and maybe talk around selling. So on to Ibrahim's point and on the Splunk platform, so we look at 2 people in any organization, which is the CIO and the CISO. So the CISO is the person that is in charge of taking decisions for security, and that's the person that will be our economic buyer when we want to actually convince. However, when it comes for the IT operations, when we're looking on the other side, which is the IT operations, then sometimes it will be within the CIO. So we need to approach also the CIO or the IT director or something like that, and they all roll up to either a CIO or the head of information security, head of the technology. Either or, we should always start, if we start off with the security, then yes, the customer would only be focusing on security, and there are a lot of competition, and that's not the value that we want to position to a customer. So to Brahim's point, when we close 80% of our business with big customers, we need to always sell the idea, which is the data to everything platform with the CIO. And then it adds a lot of value to use the same platform for both the IT operations and for the security. Moving on, just if you can give us a quick example, Ibrahim, on any of your customers, without mentioning names, just give us a quick run through of how you actually positioned Splunk quickly in a couple of minutes, just to give them, the sales guys, a quick feel of how it is from a timeline perspective, from forecasting the deal, from understanding who to approach, and how to position Splunk.
Perfect. Actually, thank you, Rami, for bringing this point on the stage, because actually it's very, very, very important. Why is that? You mentioned CISO and you mentioned CIO. And always, if you remember that when we discussed our deal, which we are waiting the PO for it today during our forecast, that this deal, it was a hybrid model. So yes, today we go to the CISO, we go to the CIO, depends. You can start with here or there. It depends where your contact is. You can start whenever you want. Security, when we start with security, the things are a security discussion, of course, but we bringing in the data capabilities, which make a difference and add difference to the CISO. Always CISO, what they do care of is saving cost, the ROI, as much as they can, saving team efforts, having more visibility on across their infrastructure or networks or security posture. These are the things which CISO do care of it, and that the things which mainly we go and approach CISO there. For the CIO, we all know SLAs, services, outages, these things which touch their business, making their business move slowly or making their business impacted before, mainly outages, alerts, the storm of alerts they are getting, and how much their team is spending time. So we go back again to the same point: ROI saving, cost saving, effort saving, etc. But here, just I want to take the chance. I don't want to talk in details every persona, but just I want to take one success story, which again, the deal which we were talking about it today with the management. That deal, it started with the security, with the CISO. We started like the normal exercise. They need to comply with NCA, and they need to have the SIM to help them with the monitoring, the investigation, and customize a couple of use cases that NCA is requesting them to have. Then we find that they have a huge amount of data, and at the same time, the CISO believe and he see the value of Splunk in the other department. So, and to be honest with you guys, this is one of the big deals we have for this quarter. The CISO told me frankly, Ibrahim, I don't think that I know I have a huge amount of data, but I just think that we can match the exact price. Otherwise, we will go with half of the project or half of the sizing. That time we took the approach of the hybrid model. Why you don't get us or help us to reach the CIO? You as a CISO have your own responsibility, your own goals and initiatives for having Splunk. Can you take us to the CIO? And to be honest with you guys, that doesn't take 2 days or 1 week to finalize it. It takes time, correct? But at the end of the day, we end up with a huge deal where when we went to the CIO, we start talking about the IT ops. And when they saw the value, they asked when we saw the value, they asked for a demo, for a POC. We convinced the customer to go with a demo. And this is one of the good things, by the way, about Splunk, that Splunk can go and convince customer and deliver through a demo that take 1 week to set up and 2 hours or 3 hours to show. So we went to the CIO, we explained about the IT operation, we show the use cases, the data, and we end up with a big deal with a shared budget from the hybrid model. So we grow our deal, CISO took the full sizing, our deal become, in terms of dollar, bigger, our value to the organization become bigger, our ROI justification was much easier, where it was a shared budget between the security and the IT ops. So today, this is thank you again, Rami, for bringing this in. This is about the hybrid model. So don't expect that if you go to the CISO, you will just keep talking about only security. No, simply you can bring some use cases related to operation, ask the CISO to take you to the CIO, or you can go with the CIO and come back to the security, or you can work separately. Some of my friends and partners, when we did the account planning and I was telling them about X customer, they told me, no, they have a SIM. Thanks. I don't want to replace the SIM. I don't want to talk SIM. I want to talk about operation. So I hope the example, it was clear, using the hybrid approach for 2 different titles at the same time, which is helping to grow the deal, which helping to add more value to customer. And one very important point here in the hybrid model will make Splunk is a unique when it comes to RFP. That if a SIM vendor will come to participate in this RFP, they cannot, because they can cover only the SIM part. They cannot cover the rest of the RFP. And the opposite, if there is a vendor who have the IT operation or ITSI capabilities, still they don't have the SIM. So that sometimes maybe you guys see and witnessed in the market, many RFPs that is Splunk named, because it's a value that Splunk can provide, and no one really can compete when it is a big value combined between multiple use cases.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Ibrahim. It's worth mentioning also, guys, that for Splunk, we can work from $50,000 deals all the way to $8, $9, $10 million, and it could be more than that. And we've worked in Saudi on those size of deals. So the good thing is we've got focused sales RSMs covering Saudi Arabia that can actually help you at first stage position Splunk when you need their help. From a channel perspective, the whole objective of the session is to make sure that the salespeople, of course, We do ask you to take the time and do the training online. It's very important. It gives you all this in much more details as well, and it gives you the different ways of selling and how you can sell. So that's number one thing we ask from a channel perspective. And number two is the experience of the RSM. You can take it online on a webinar, or you can take it in the field. So whenever you need the field support from the RSM, you can go with him the first time, the second time, the third time, and then it will be easy for you to actually position Splunk and to talk about Splunk. Another point that's very good and also worth mentioning is, to Brahim's point, are the RFPs. So it's important for us to start early engagement, and I've got good traction with all my focused partners to do early engagement in the accounts. The timeline could be from 6 months to 9 months, could be to a year, and could be 3 months. It depends on how we position, the demand, the need of the customer. And the most important thing is that the demand is driven today for a security perspective through NCA and SAMA regulation. So there is a need, there is a demand in the market. A lot of customers are asking. We are leaders in Gartners. It's just that we need to be able to go together to the customers to position Splunk. Thanks a lot, Ibrahim. I want to give the chance. I think we had one technical question. I think in the Q&A. Maybe it's maybe you can. So it was.
Yeah, I think Dimitris already answered.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, Rami, just before I conclude something, just now I forgot to mention in my first slide when I was asking the guys to tell me what they hear about Splunk, something very important is Splunk has no team in Saudi. Just let me conclude with that if you allow me, Rami. Yes, we don't have people who are living in Saudi, sitting in Saudi, going in Saudi streets every day. That's right. But does that mean we don't have people focused in Saudi? We don't have that because we don't have the entity, and we were working to finalize the entity last year, but it got extended, and due to COVID now it's got extended. We don't have a certain timeline. But let me mention something about the team. We are seven or eight people who are focusing in Saudi literally every week from Sunday to Wednesday or Sunday to Thursday, depending on people's schedule. We are there. I never been invited to a meeting and I said that I am sitting in Dubai and I will not come. I never. Yes, before we had no that much big team and focus, but now Saudi, it's different. It's a very strategic entity for us. For that, why we are working with the entity which was supposed to be ready beginning of this year. So this is about the team. We are here. We are focused. I don't have anything besides Saudi. Only Saudi. My SE has only Saudi. Even Rami, as a channel, SE directors, everybody in a weekly basis, we are in Saudi, like we are living in Saudi. Just once we have the entity, we will move there. So thank you, Rami. Just want to clarify this point. Thank you, everybody, for listening and for your time. Hope it was very useful and fruitful.
I think I want to give some time for the guys to ask questions, regardless, any technical, sales. So you guys can unmute yourself and please go ahead and ask. Let's make the last maybe 15, 20 minutes a bit interactive. And because I think that's the most important thing, is to hear from your side as well. So please feel free and ask any questions, guys. So I guess the guys don't have any questions. Okay, so just
I think since sorry, Rami, Tushar here. Since he's asking question, I have one question which a lot of partners in my previous sessions also have asked for more details. Is something around the Splunk rapid adoption package, which I believe is very useful to land net new customers. As it can be used as a very good door opener where customers don't have large budgets. If you can just share some details about the RAP, both commercially how it is available, whether it's available on the Splunk base and not, and also technically in terms of professional services, if Splunk is going to assist, or is that something that is going to be led by partners?
Okay, good question, Tushar. I'm not sure if Dimitris, in your slides, you were going to talk about rapid adoption, or you, Ibrahim. If not, then we can set up another session, which is a very good topic to talk about. But I think we need to talk about more details about the rapid adoption. So maybe we can set up another session just in case. Dimitris, do you have it as part of your slides to talk about the rapid adoption?
So no, I didn't have it today. It was more of a what we do with the different approaches and cloud, etc. But yeah, it's a very important topic, and we have to spend some time on it because it's really amazing package, and it's ideal for net new logos, but also for starting their journey with Splunk. And honestly, when I saw the offer, to be honest, I just couldn't believe it. So it's very, very good idea that we came up with this, actually.
Are you planning to do anytime soon the rapid adoption presentation? Because I think it was part of your presentation, Redington's.
So we had, I was planning to do a specific session for rapid adoption packages, to be honest. And I know, Tushar, you guys have done already a session on that one, right?
Yes, we did a couple of sessions in the past few weeks actually, but one question was from the partners was how these packages can be made available. Is it like an app, or is it something that has to be configured, and some technical details around it?
Okay, no, so basically it's just you get two things. Is primarily is the license that you get at a very discounted price, and it's only up to 25 GB. And then you have the restricted use cases. And the restricted use cases, they come from the free app that we have, which is the Security Essentials for security, and the free app that we have for the ITOA, the Splunk app for infrastructure. So the content is there, and in terms of who installs and configures that instance, you can either get Splunk PS or the partner can do it. Even if you're not certified as PS, you can even set up this because it's a very low volume and simple use cases.
Okay, sure. Thank you for that, Dimitri.
Okay, perfect. So we've got until 4:30. Is there anything you want us to focus on within the next 20 minutes, or shall I ask Dimitris to cover a few slides on his presentation? Anybody wants to ask anything?
Hello?
Okay, I guess, Dimitris, let's go with a few slides from your side and wrap it up before 4:30. We'll give them the last 5 minutes if they want to ask any questions.
Yeah, I'll make it a bit more short. So what I wanted to talk about today is that, as we said, and Ibrahim mentioned, there's a lot of use cases that you can do with Splunk, and it's really a one-off platform. And we've kind of proved that in the last few months, where we've seen that due to the COVID-19 crisis, a lot of things have changed. The way things are working, businesses are operating, and one of the main stuff that we see is that you really need to focus, or the companies need to focus on their digital transformation journey. So some they do have a plan, some they don't have a plan at all, and with the current situation, these companies, they accelerated these plans, and they have to accelerate it because at the end of the day, it will mean that they're staying in business or they're out of business if they don't if they don't do the right stuff. So a lot of at the beginning, when the pandemic started, we started looking at how we can help our customers specifically to address the problems that they have with the COVID-19 situation. And what we see around the globe with our customers is a few very specific categories that challenges are focusing from the enterprises. So one thing is, you saw a lot of the companies, if not all, they started shifting to remote work. Some companies, they had some infrastructure in place, and some they didn't have anything. So it was a lot harder for them to start following this kind of policies. And now we see most of the organizations, they have adopted this new way of working. Then we also saw a lot of increased stress on their business systems. And this is primarily because people maybe cannot go out to the shop, so they had to start buying online, for example. So if you imagine, before maybe they had kind of a 50% utilization on their infrastructure for online, and then suddenly that went to 150, 200. And their infrastructure was not ready for this kind of surges. Usually they have they're ready to withstand this kind of surges for very short amounts of time, but not for continuous months. So there was a lot of challenges when it comes to keeping their services up and running and providing what they have to provide to their customers. Third one is customer demands. They evolve very, very, very quickly, because suddenly you have to deal with a new norm, and people have to learn how to live their life in a new way. So a lot of new ideas came up from different enterprises, and they started innovating on how they can change the market dynamics in order to be able to fulfill their customer requirements now. Another one, last but not least, is the inability to rely on physical infrastructure. Very important, and we've seen it also with our customers here in the region. Even for projects, they were kind of delayed because or frozen because there was no one to go to the data center and physically put the hardware there and start operating, so we can install the software and carry on. So we saw that a lot around the world, and what that means is that you have to accelerate your plan to move your infrastructure on the cloud. And we saw a lot of demand for global cloud providers and even local cloud providers. And last is there's a great urgency to optimize your business. Why? Because a lot of the revenue has been lost during especially the first few months, and everyone now is looking to optimize how they do business in order to make sure they stay ahead of the game. So these were a few of the things that we saw, and what these end up as let's say initiatives that we see out there is, when it comes to the cloud, which is very, very critical enabler for the transformation, there is a lot of complexity behind it. And we have a few models, and this is very important for the cloud, that you start with when you start your cloud migration or transformation program. And this is the retain and optimize phase one, basically, which is very, very slow. You start doing a few things with the cloud, then you primarily start using infrastructure as a service. So you have, let's say, a VM within your data center, and then you take that VM and you just upload it on a cloud provider, but nothing really much changes. Then you have the refactoring phase, which is more mature, where basically you're transforming your application, and it's not just a lift and shift, but you might start utilizing services that are native to the clouds, for example, databases on the clouds, etc. So you're not using VMs anymore. And the final stage, which is completely loosely coupled, where you have microservices running or providing your end service to the customers. And all this, even starting from phase one, they do have a lot of complexities. And you start dealing with some challenges, such as multiple cloud providers. How do you monitor applications that go into the cloud? How do you have a unified view of what you have in your data center plus what you have in the different cloud providers? And when you go to more advanced technologies where microservices, these are a lot more difficult to monitor. So you have to have a technology capable of doing very advanced monitoring and providing you the observability that you require. So here we're talking about, new data sources, the requirement to have the data sources onboarded very quickly to for your organization to be able to get visibility of what is happening. And at the same time, if you start prioritizing the data, you're going to see some transformative outcomes. So everybody's running to do this transformations, and the last thing they care about is how they are going to deal with the visibility challenge. But at the end of the day, if you manage to get on that train where you do rapid transformation, then you will increase your annual gross profit, and you have a lot more revenue that you had before with your new offerings, because a lot of the times now you have a greater reach because of the online nature of things, and you meet or exceed customer retention targets. So everything is whoever manages to get on that train first and stay secure and operate, then they're going to have a great journey. Then I'm not going to go into the details about the platform, but I wanted just to touch point on how some of our customers are responding with the new norm, let's say. And I'll try and be a bit brief here. So these are the four categories that we've seen. So supporting remote work is one of the first ones. And what we've done as a company from, I think, about 2 weeks after the pandemic started, we provided out there a free app that's called Remote Work Insights, which basically gives you visibility on anything related to remote working data sources, whether it is your remote access or Microsoft 365, any cloud collaboration platform, etc. And you get visibility both related to IT and security, and at the same time, even productivity for the customers. And this was this really showed the power of the platform to be able to provide almost out-of-the-box solutions that they can adapt to new challenges, new norms, new use cases. Okay, and we've put it out there. It has a huge success. We provided a 90-day free trial of it. So if customers are interested, they go on board for 90 days for free on Splunk Cloud. And then, after a few months, we've seen almost 100% retainment of these customers. So it's a very successful story, and we got a lot of good feedback behind it. Then at the same time, you have the network operation centers, which, as we all know, they used to be required to be in a specific physical space where they monitor all the infrastructure. Now, again, all this is changing. You have to do remote working on that one, and you need the right technologies and ways to be able to identify the issues and respond fast in terms of monitoring your IT and network infrastructure. And this is where we utilize a lot the AI and machine learning capabilities of the platform to make it easier for the analysts or the people who monitor it to understand what's going on, find the root cause faster, and remediate the problem. Very important, business continuity, and this is, as we said, a lot of companies went online fully, so the load on their online services increased dramatically, and as they get more complicated, where they had to offload stuff on the cloud and at the same time having mixed environments, they really needed a way to be able to identify what is the problem if a service is not working as expected, and they need this to happen very fast. And this is where Ibrahim also mentioned ITSI. You see this tree. So with ITSI, you can really easily see exactly what is the problem with your service that you're monitoring, and identify the root cause in a very, very short time and go and remediate. And then the next step would be to go to predictive analytics, whereby you predict potential issues with the service ahead of time, and you go and remediate before you have an impact. Finally, the same for security operations, same concepts. We also saw an increase actually in cybersecurity attacks, and a lot of them were very specific or related to the COVID-19. So we had a lot of spikes in COVID-19 phishing campaigns, for example. So there was the requirement to come up with new content for detecting these new security attacks and trends. And again, as Splunk, we were able to put out their security content very fast to help our customers mitigate and identify anomalous behavior related to cybersecurity. Then innovation, and I'm almost done. So, as we said, many companies had to find new ways of delivering their services, and many of them started using Splunk to review their existing processes and optimize their existing processes in order to be able to provide better efficiency on how they deliver the applications, how fast they resolve the problems. And this is going around the microservices, DevOps, and how you can deploy and monitor this kind of applications in a very, very efficient way. And finally, very important, there was a huge move for cloud transition. And luckily, we've been there before. We've been working on this for some time, and we have kind of a concept that we don't really care where your cloud provider is, but you get a single kind of dashboard or pane of glass where you can view all your cloud related infrastructure in one dashboard. And at the same time, you can even utilize the same dashboard to have related incidents, either security or IT, from your own data center. Because all this is extremely complicated to start monitoring. You have new tools. You don't have a unified tool out there that does everything. So it was a perfect match from our side. And security, when it comes to security and multiple cloud providers, again, there was a huge gap there, and a lot of people, they just move on the cloud by not having done their homework. And we all know that cloud providers, they do part of that one. Yeah. So when you have infrastructure as a service, it doesn't mean that if your application is not secure, it doesn't mean that the cloud provider will make it secure. So you still have a responsibility for monitoring the security of these services. And the configuration of cloud native services also, because it's a new technology thing, then we see a lot of security practitioners, they don't know what are the controls they should put. And with Splunk content that we have developed specifically for security-related use cases on the multiple clouds, you now get visibility as soon as you deploy services on the cloud. And I think this was it from my side. And it's all related, as we said, or what we did with the recent events that happened with COVID-19, and how the platform is able to deliver what we say as the main messaging that we have, which is a data to everything platform. We proved that once again, and it was a great success.
So I guess, Dimitris, we don't have any questions. Thank you for presenting. Thank you, Brahim. Thanks all for attending. Hope stay safe. Hope to see you again in the next few weeks. Good luck and happy selling, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.